Hi, guys. If you want a serious or casual relationship with a girl, you need to get her into bed as soon as possible. Tip: the best time to have sex with her is on the first date. I want to tell the story of a friend of mine. By the way, he is an expert in relationships with women. He completed a year's worth of training in seduction techniques. He learned a lot, achieved good results, but he still lacked specific knowledge and practice. As he said, fortunately, failure is a powerful learning tool, and the story I'm about to tell taught him the most important lesson about dealing with girls that prefigured my future. Namely, your best chance at a relationship is sex on the first date. And this doesn't just apply to a fling, but to a serious, long-term relationship. To many guys, this kind of thinking may seem counterintuitive, but trust me, it's not. In this article, I'll share with you the observations that finally convinced me how important and effective it is. Listen to his story. Kira, meeting and first date. It was a Saturday morning. I had recently broken up with my girlfriend and was going through a bad time in my life. I didn't want to be alone, so I went to my social media page and invited a few girls to keep me company over breakfast. Among them was Kira, 37 years old, slim, pretty, elegant, and stylish. She looked 5 years younger than her age and was very sexy. She had a status on her profile that said, "Don't add me as a friend or write stupid messages, I'm not interested." But I ignored the warning and sent her a breakfast invitation. She responded to me right away. After a little introductory conversation, I suggested we meet at a nearby cafe for a bite to eat, but she said she was in a hurry to get to work and would be busy all day. "Okay, we'll meet another time," I said, and throughout the day while I was busy with my business, I kept up an occasional correspondence with her, until 5 p.m. when I re-invited her for a date. "What are your plans for tonight? Let me know when you're free." She said, "I'm free. Come over if you want. I've been practicing online dating for a year now, and I've noticed that a girl is more comfortable agreeing to a date if you set a minimum amount of time to think about it." Her initial, "I'm busy, I have other plans," actually means, "You need to talk to me more to get to know you better, then I can say yes." Maintaining a non-intensive, calm conversation and then non-aggressive persistence made a difference. This is why you should never take what a woman says too literally, and despite her refusals, continue to show reasonable persistence. That evening of the same day, she and I met for the first time. She was tall, thin, with long black hair, almost model-like, wearing tight red pants and a black shirt with open shoulders. Cute and beautiful. She clearly didn't look 37 years old. In the car, we started chatting about various trivia, but I intentionally kept my body language neutral so she wouldn't guess my plans. After driving around a bit, I parked the car a short walk from my favorite hotel with luxurious rooms, a decent restaurant, and a panoramic view. It was time to ease the tension. We got out of the car, I gently took her hand and led her to the meeting place. And I noticed her slight sigh of relief at my physical contact. She confidently held my hand, acted relaxed, and was well under my influence. So far, things were going well. People go on dates looking for intimacy. If you don't touch her right away, she won't see you as a good prospect for intimacy. We had a nice evening with good food and expensive wine. I asked her to tell me her life story. And the moment she was talking passionately about something, I would take her hand and fix her hair. In turn, she too began to show all the physical signs of interest. She was fixing her hair, touching me with her foot, putting her palm in mine. But at 11:30 p.m., she said she had to go home because she had to get up early for work tomorrow. I drove her back to her house and we agreed to keep in touch on WhatsApp. As I was driving home, she was the first to text, "Thanks for a wonderful night." Wow, I was sure she really liked me and was interested in me. Time to set up a second date. The next day, I called her around 8 p.m. and suggested we go swimming in the outdoor pool. She didn't really want to do that. Watch a new movie together? She wasn't much of a movie buff. Shit, now what? I kept talking to her. Italian restaurant, she mentioned that she didn't like to spend much time outdoors and preferred indoor activities like cooking. That was a clear hint, right? 2 days later, I texted her and asked if she wanted to take a walk with me along the waterfront. We both liked walks, but no, she wanted to be alone. Man, that was the second time she'd turned down a concrete plan to meet up. Now I wasn't feeling as confident as before. Besides, I didn't like the stalking position I found myself in, so I decided that I needed to provoke more interest on her part. I stopped texting her and waited for her to make contact first. Women have great intuition. She naturally sensed something was wrong, and on Wednesday night she texted, "Are you okay?" To which I coldly replied, "Yes. Why do you ask?" The next day, there was a complete lull in our correspondence until 6:30 p.m. She texted first, her, "Have a good weekend," me, "Hey, Kira, how about my idea of going to the pool tomorrow?" Her, "No, I don't like swimming. Is there another option?" Me, "Do you have any concrete suggestions?" Her, "I'll know more tomorrow." Me, "Come to my place tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll cook and watch a movie." She, "Okay." And then we discussed the details. I rejoiced in my victory and considered myself a guru of female psychology. Except the next day I found that she blocked my phone number. The status of my WhatsApp message was sent but not delivered. Her phone was busy all the time, and on social media she added me to her blacklist. At 3:30 p.m. on Friday, I realized there would never be a second date with Kira. Worse, she had cut me out of her life, deprived me of any way to contact her. I had wasted too much time playing silly games of proper relationship and completely ruined the connection that had been formed during our dating phase. My best chance was on the first date. In the beginning, I did everything right. I was moderately persistent and ignored her rejections. At the same time, I did not act aggressively or appear begging and needy. It's important to show that this date is not a big deal to you. This was the only reason she agreed to go out with me. During the date, my sexual tension and assertive touches were on point. Our first date made her feel comfortable, close, and secure. There was also a great emotional connection between us. In fact, I had done such a great job of making sure I had sex with her as soon as possible. And I could have easily put my plans into action. It would have been a natural, smooth, and magical ending to a great first date. If I had just tried it, things would have turned out differently. My worst enemy was my own mindset, but I missed my chance because I was still holding on to erroneous beliefs and stereotypes, namely, real women don't have sex on the first date. A nice girl can't offer to go to your house. If you have these beliefs or their alternative forms, such as only sluts fuck on the first date, get them out of your head for good. These are limiting beliefs that will hold you back from success in your personal life. Replace these wrong beliefs with the right ones. A woman who loves you will get into your bed when she's ready for it, perhaps even on the first date. This applies to right women, even conservative women. If you're thinking, that doesn't apply to me, girls in my town are very conservative, or looking for any other excuse, you're going to constantly fail because of your limiting beliefs. Kira was not a bad woman by any means, but she was willing to go to my place if I didn't slow down. My mindset was holding back my desires. Always envision the invite a girl to my house scenario. On the first date, I fully realized that she really liked me, but at the time, I didn't even envision that scenario. In response to her innuendo, I pretended not to understand. I missed the opportunity to bring her home right after the first meeting, but I had a good chance to do it on the second date. But we didn't even get to that point because I made some serious mistakes in my manner of communication. Basically, I blatantly ignored all her mentions of her liking to spend time indoors. A good woman cannot say, "I'm going to come over to your place right now and we're going to have sex." That kind of frank communication is more in a man's style. A woman cannot communicate like that because she has to maintain a good girl image for herself and for other people. Such a statement would be too bold and lewd, and she doesn't consider herself a bad girl. Instead, she uses a covert, negative, ambivalent communication style. She says she prefers to stay indoors. This is the best thing a woman can do to hint at intimacy. In fact, she would prefer not to make that statement. She's hoping you'll figure it out on your own without any prompting. I'm lucky she kept in touch with me for another whole week, because most women would have put my number on the blacklist right away. Misunderstandings ruin your image, and it doesn't matter how good the first date was. That's exactly what happened to me. I stubbornly ignored the obvious signs that she wanted to be alone with me. I continued to insist on unsuccessful dating patterns, walks, pool, movie, restaurant, and ignored her blatant calls for more intimacy. I showed her that I didn't take the hint. I showed her over and over again that I don't care about sex. Eventually, she lost patience, became frustrated, and cut me out of her life. She wanted sex, and I didn't get it. My takeaways from this experience, such an embarrassing failure after such a great first date, opened my eyes. I will never make a mistake like that again.